It's Gacha Baka back again with a Pokemon TCG Pocket video. So today we got a tournament breakdown where a Charizard deck made top cut and won the tournament. So let's go ahead and break down what that deck consisted of and why that deck was so powerful in this tournament. So the first deck we have is Charizard Arcanine EX. The reason why this deck performs so well in tournament formats is that it is able to take out the top two competitors, which are Mewtwo EX and Pikachu EX. As you can see in the top rounds, in the top 32, top 16, top 8, and top 2, it was able to take down a Mewtwo EX deck, which was the most popular deck in the tourney format. Charizard EX was barely the second most popular deck right after Mewtwo EX, with about 24 of the top 100 players playing Charizard EX, and in the top 8, there is only one Charizard deck remaining. There are multiple advantages that this deck has. It performs well against Mewtwo EX because of Charizard, and it performs very well against Pikachu EX because of Arcanine EX. The reason why these two are so good together is because of Moltres EX. Moltres EX is a unifying factor in this deck. It's able to put energy on any fire type card, and I believe in future sets it might need to be banned in future tournaments. Imagine having a card that is a free Misty every turn. Every turn you put an energy on Moltres, and by turn 3 you're able to do a 70 damage hit with Moltres, and then you can follow up with Arcanine EX or Charizard EX depending on what opponent you're facing. I do believe that Charizard EX, it is not the most popular deck, and I feel like the most consistent deck is not Charizard EX. Now you might be wondering what deck is the most consistent and the best deck in tournament formats. Honestly, in my opinion, I do believe it is Mewtwo EX. Look at the percentage of players playing Mewtwo in the top 100, the highest amount of any meta deck, with 32% of players playing Mewtwo EX. In the top 32, there was 12 of 32. Once again, the highest amount of players were playing Mewtwo EX. In top 16, almost half of the players were playing Mewtwo EX. And in the top 8, over half of the players were playing Mewtwo EX, with 62% of players. Even though Charizard might have won the tournament, I still believe Mewtwo EX is the best deck in tournament formats and the best deck if you're playing on the ladder. The addition of Mewtwo and Jinx is amazing in this deck. I believe that adding in Baby Mewtwo, which is the non-EX version of Mewtwo, makes this deck more tanky and you're able to take on those early game hits. And having Jinx in your back pocket, once you have Gardevoir on the bench, you're gonna be able to put 2 energy on your first turn with Jinx, one from Gardevoir and one from your energy pool. It is able to do 90 damage on any Pokemon that has 3 energy, and is able to do 110 damage on any Pokemon that has 4 energy. So if you're able to do 110 damage on Charizard EX, Mewtwo can come in next turn and follow up with a 150 attack hit, and once Charizard is knocked out, you have nothing to be scared of because Arcanine can only do 120 damage. In my opinion, I still believe that Mewtwo EX is the best deck right now and is the most popular choice of the top 100 players playing in this tournament. As you can see, Mikers was able to go into top 2 with his Mewtwo EX deck and beat many Charizards on his way there. Making it to the top 3 was Articuno EX and Greninja. Now for water decks, there was a multitude of different decks playing in this tournament. There was Articuno Starmie, Articuno Blastoise, Articuno Greninja, and Blastoise Frostmoth. Out of all the tournament decks, Articuno EX and water decks were the least popular deck of the format. Only 14% of players were playing Articuno EX in some type of variety in the top 100. As you can see in the Swiss rounds, this deck was able to perform really well, but it only faced one Pikachu EX deck in that run. The 2 decks it played against the most was Mewtwo EX and Charizard EX. While this deck does perform well against those 2, it can also be beat by those 2 as well. I do believe water decks are gaining an advantage because of Misty, but Misty is too much RNG and can definitely screw you over more time than it helps you out. And finally, we have our top 4 player playing a Pikachu EX deck. I do believe Pikachu EX is the most consistent deck in this format. The reason why I say that is you don't need a stage 2 evolution in order to get this deck going off. Every Pokemon in this deck is either a basic card or a stage 1 evolution. Pikachu was barely the third most popular deck, right behind Charizard, with about 23% of players playing this deck in the top 100. However, both Charizard, Articuno, and Mewtwo had more players in the top 32. What makes Pikachu so strong is what I was saying before, is the fact that you have a lot of basic mons, meaning that you're not breaking a lot. Basically, you're not drawing into dead cards a lot in your games. Also, the fact that you have a failsafe button in Zapdos EX, meaning that whenever you don't have your bench filled for your Pikachu EX, you're able to hit up to 200 damage with your Zapdos if you're able to land your coin flips. As you can see in the Swiss rounds, this player was able to perform fairly well against Mewtwo EX decks, beating it 4 times in the Swiss rounds and once in the top 8 cut. He was also able to perform really well against Charizard EX decks, beating it 3 out of the 4 times, and only losing in top 4 to a Charizard EX, the same player that would eventually go on to win the tournament. While Pikachu only came in 4th place, I do believe it is the most consistent deck and we'll see tournament play much more in the future. Alright, and that's everything I want to talk about in this Pokemon TCG Pocket video. Let me know what decks you guys are using in the comments below. What deck do you believe to be the most popular, and what deck do you believe is the strongest right now in this format? While I believe it is Mewtwo EX, let me know what you guys think, and definitely subscribe and like the video if you are new. This is Gacha Baka signing out.